What is reverse mortgage, and is it something that you would qualify for, or is it be something beneficial for you? Today we have Mr. Chuck Scoma with loanDepot. He's been in the business for how long, Chuck?
35 years.
35 years doing loans, and we're going to talk about reverse mortgage. Thank you, Chuck, for being with us today. So, Chuck, what is a reverse mortgage?
A reverse mortgage is a home mortgage that taps into the equity of your property. Usually if you own it free and clear, or if you have a mortgage, it pays off that mortgage and has no mortgage payments.
Interesting. Great. How does a reverse mortgage work?
So you refinance your property, or you can buy a home. But if you refinance a property, we can give you monthly payments from the equity in your home for as long as you live, or you can take a lump sum up front. The money's available to you and you have no mortgage payments.
Very interesting. So basically, you can use your home equity as a piggy bank and be able to withdraw that equity out. And you mentioned you can have it as payment. Is that monthly? Or you can do it all at once as lump sum?
All at once. You can do it once a year. The options are endless for how you withdraw the money.
Got it. Okay. And who is eligible for it?
Anybody that's 55 and over.
55 and over. So Chuck, how is the amount of the loan that people can withdraw is determined?
Well, first and foremost is property value and then age. The younger you are, the less money you can get out. The older you are, the more money you can get.
That's interesting. Is that mainly balancing the risk for the bank? Is that what it is with the age?
Yes, it's all about life expectancy.
Okay.
So if you're 55, you're likely going to live another 30 years.
Right.
If you're 75, maybe 10, 20.
And is there a guideline for the age versus the amount, or is that based on underwriting? How do they calculate that?
No, it's a pure calculation. You put the numbers in, and it's a life expectancy. And so basically, they say this person's going to live 10.8 years. We can lend them this much money because this will be the loan balance in 10.8 years.
Okay. So Chuck, sometimes I hear about people saying reverse mortgage is not good because it doesn't have a lot of benefits in it for the client. Why should anyone get a reverse mortgage?
Well, for me, I'm really into the benefit of delaying Social Security, for example. If you have a retirement account, a 401k, a SEP IRA, a pension, if you have a mortgage, you can pay it off and not make any payments and delay Social Security to your 67 or even 70. Another one is you can withdraw money, maybe the money you're receiving right now on your pension or whatever. You can take money out and buy some investment and make money on the investment without having to repay that. So there's multiple things you can do with a reverse mortgage to help benefit your quality of life.
So one thing comes to mind as a real estate broker. One of the disadvantages of buying real estate for investment is the liquidity part of it. Whether you buy stocks, it's easy. One phone call, sell, and cash out. In this case, basically, you're tapping into the liquidity of your equity without having to sell your house, right? And still live in the home. Yeah, that's a very good, beneficial way. A lot of people, I think, don't understand, or they talk against reverse mortgage because they're not educated enough or they don't understand how it works. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think there's been just these myths put out about reverse mortgages and how people are going to lose their home. You still retain ownership of your home.
Yes.
All reverse mortgages are protected. You never owe more on the home based off the loan balance.
Right.
You never have to, so the heirs never have to worry about it.
Yeah. So it is not everybody, but whoever it works for and the benefits is there for them, they should obviously or definitely look into it at least and take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how can reverse mortgage impact heirs or the state itself?
Well, there's a myth to this. So you get a reverse mortgage, you owe $250 on the reverse, and the property's worth $500. Well, if you live another 20 or 30 years, eventually you're going to have that money build up to possibly what the property's worth. These loans are protected. So what happens is the heirs don't have to worry about it. You'll never have to pay the loan more than what the property's worth. So if the property's worth $1 million and the mortgage has gone up to $1 million, you're cut off there. You never owe more.
Okay. And basically, if somebody does pass away and the house has the reverse mortgage, does the heirs and the states get to sell it, or how does that work at that point, the exit strategy?
Well, if there's still a lot of equity in, the heirs can refinance the property. They can sell it, pay off the balance of the reverse. And if they're old enough by the time, they can always keep the property and get another reverse mortgage on their own. They can't.
Based on the equity.
Based on the equity.
That's excellent. So they do have options. They're not stuck at the end of the day. Now, what if somebody outlives the loan amount or the market crash and the value of the house drops? What happens then?
Well, let's just say if the market crashes and you refinanced to a reverse mortgage and it's $250 and now the house is worth $500. Now it's been growing and the market crashed. Now the property's worth $250 and the loan balance is $350. We don't care. As long as you're alive, we don't care about the property value because the payments will continue to come up. We're banking on the fact that real estate has a 4% average in history of increases every year. So eventually it'll catch back up and go back ahead of the mortgage.
Right.
But again, there's no repercussions. There's no mortgage payments. How do we know what the property's worth? We're not checking on it.
Yes. So Chuck, basically, if you withdraw your equity and you end up selling the house, would you have to pay capital gains at that point?
No.
No. I guess if you're living in the house, it's primary home, capital gains waived to a cap. You're withdrawing that money and you're spending it. Is that considered income? Are you getting taxed on that money year after year? No.
Nope, it's not income.
No taxes.
No.
And no capital gains if you make so much more.
Correct.
Wow, okay. So it's almost too good to be true.
Yes.
What's the catch?
Well, the catch is you've already paid on that money all these years.
Right.
All you're doing is taking the money back out.
Okay.
And it's your money you invested into your property. So there's no catch. It's a matter of how people can live and support themselves in different forms. You take the money all out and go buy some other real estate.
Reinvest
Cash for it. Reinvest it.
for rental or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can use that money for anything, not
Anything.
just real estate or
Anything.
stocks, anything. Very interesting. In the big picture, a lot of financial advisors should be taking advantage of this, right?
Absolutely. They're catching on. And they're
Okay.
starting to realize it's a great tool as a supplement instead of everybody spending all their money.
Definitely, because there's hardly any ways you can get away from paying taxes or, escaping capital gains. You have to do it unless you do 1031 exchange. And that's totally different story.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Being in the
that's
real
right.
estate world, I work with a lot of investors, and this question always comes up. So that's very interesting. So Chuck, once they get the reverse mortgage and they're withdrawing the money, what happens if they need to move or if they need to sell the house? What would happen then? Can they sell the house?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the mortgage gets paid like a regular mortgage.
Regular,
And they
okay.
take whatever net proceeds.
No penalties, no prepayment penalties, nothing like that.
Nothing
okay.
like that.
Can they refinance and stay in the house if they chose
Absolutely.
to stop taking that money?
Absolutely.
And again, no penalties, nothing to it.
Nothing. Yeah.
And what if somebody wants to sell the house at that point? Same.
Same thing. The key thing about the reverse mortgage is it's an owner-occupied loan. So if you bought another home and it's in Palm Springs and you live there more than you live in this one, that means that loan's due and payable. Not at the moment, but you have
You
to.
would have to
the home,
refinance it or sell it.
Sell it.
So it has to be primary residence. You cannot rent out that house.
Correct.
Okay, got it. We know some cases some people get divorced. And what happens at that point if they separate?
Glad you brought that up. It's a great tool to not make the people sell the home, to split the proceeds. Divorce decree, separation agreement, you can even still be married and divide the money on a reverse mortgage.
And that eliminates a lot of attorney fees and other headaches a lot of divorced couples
Yeah.
go through.
Yeah, you get the property value, you split what the value is worth, and you get the loan, pay the other person off. Actually, it's quite good because that other person can take the proceeds and buy another property, and both of them can have no mortgage payments.
Excellent. Well, great. So, Chuck, thank you very much for all this great information. I definitely learned something about reverse mortgage, a lot actually. And basically, folks, if you guys have any questions about reverse mortgage, you know who to contact. Chuck's information is going to be in the comments. So what is the best way someone should approach or contact you directly?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm available every day. Just call me, text me, or email me, and it'll be at the bottom.
Any questions about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, you know who to call. Mike and Team Tchobanian. If you have any questions about lending, reverse mortgages, Chuck here is available to help you as well.